Have you ever noticed the moment you finally stop caring, she suddenly starts paying attention? It's strange, right? You spent weeks, maybe months trying to explain, to fix, to show her you care. You wrote long texts. You waited for replies that came hours late. You tried to make her understand, but she never did. Then one day, something inside you just goes quiet. You don't even plan it. It just happens. You wake up, check your phone, and for the first time, you don't feel that you need to text her. You don't feel that ache anymore. You just feel calm. That calm is not a weakness, that's power. Because for the first time, she's not living in your head rent-free. And that's the exact moment she starts to notice your silence, your absence, your stillness. She feels it like a shift in energy, the same way you can feel when someone pulls back their attention. And suddenly she wonders, why did he stop texting? Why isn't he reacting? Did I lose him? Your silence has been echoing in her mind. It made her replay the moments you were always available, and the one when you finally weren't. Now she wants to know, did he move on? Does he still care? Why doesn't he chase anymore? That curiosity turns into discomfort, and that discomfort turns into action. So she reaches out, and this, right here, is where most men lose everything they've gained. They rush back. They answer too quickly. They explain their silence, hoping to sound calm, but instead they sound eager. And just like that, the mystery dies. The power shifts back. But a man who's learned control knows better. He doesn't ignore her to punish her. He simply moves with intention, slow, calm, grounded. When she texts, he doesn't rush to prove his worth. He responds when it feels right. And his words carry peace, not pressure. Because silence was never about pretending not to care. It was about learning that your attention is valuable. That confusion is the start of attraction rebuilding itself. But it doesn't happen because you said something perfect. It happens because you said nothing at all. Silence forces reflection. And in that silence, you become mysterious again, unpredictable, valuable. That's the moment you shift the power dynamic without lifting a finger, without sending a word. Because silence isn't empty. It's full of answers. When you stop talking, it's about losing control of the narrative. Something strange happens in the mind of the person who once had your attention. It isn't about missing your voice. Every conversation creates a rhythm. She speaks, you reply. She pulls away, you chase. She pushes, you explain. It becomes predictable, and the human brain craves predictability. But when you break that rhythm, you introduce uncertainty, and uncertainty is magnetic. Psychologists call it cognitive dissonance. The mental discomfort that comes when reality no longer fits expectations. She expected you to react. She expected you to argue, to prove, to chase, and instead, silence. Now her brain scrambles for meaning. Did he lose interest? Did I go too far? Is he talking to someone else? That inner dialogue becomes an obsession. She replied to the last message you sent. She scrolls through your profile looking for clues. She reads between the lines of words that don't exist. The more she tries to solve the puzzle, the deeper she falls into it. Because the brain hates unanswered questions. And silence is the biggest unanswered question of all. This isn't manipulation. It's the natural consequence of emotional contrast. You gave her presence, then you gave her absence, and the absence suddenly highlights the value of what she lost. Your silence becomes a mirror. It shows her what your attention used to feel like. And once she feels that absence is long enough, she starts to crave the peace you used to bring. So, when she comes back, it isn't random. It's her mind trying to restore balance, trying to fill the void your silence created. Remember this, when you stop reacting, you stop being predictable. And when you stop being predictable, you become powerful. Every relationship, whether romantic or not, runs on energy exchange. Someone leads with calm. Someone leads with chaos. And whichever energy you feed, that one wins. Most men don't realize how much of their strength they hand over through reaction. The raised voice, the quick text back, the constant need to fix what's wrong. Each one says, "My emotions depend on you." That dependence turns calm into chaos. Now picture a man who does the opposite. She snaps, he breathes, she withdraws, he stays still. She tests, he observes. That's not coldness, that's emotional discipline. And discipline is magnetic because it's rare. Chaos can only survive when it has something to bounce off of. The moment you stop reacting, the storm has nothing left to feed on. It burns itself out. This is the hidden truth behind attraction. What a woman truly respects aren't dominance or arrogance. It's stability. A man who stays calm when others panic radiates safety. And safety is the foundation of desire. So when she senses your silence, your restraint, your self-control, she doesn't read it as a distance. She feels it as strength. That's when the polarity flips. She starts wondering what you're thinking. She starts missing the certainty you once gave her. Your calm becomes the eye of the storm she wants to return to. But remember, this isn't about playing games. It's about remembering your role in the exchange. You are not there to chase emotion. You are there to set the emotional tone. And the tone of power is always calm. At first, she won't admit she misses you. She'll tell herself she's just checking in, knowing that your attention is valuable. If she truly wants to go back in, she'll feel that change in you. Your voice will sound lighter. Your time will seem fuller. You'll feel like a man who's no longer waiting, but choosing. And that difference, that's what draws her closer than before. See, what most people don't realize is this. When you grow calm in your silence, you're not punishing anyone. You're showing the world you've healed from needing to be chosen. And in that state, people sense peace. They're drawn to it instinctively because peace is power. And power attracts what chaos chases away. So when she comes back, don't make it about revenge. Make it about reflection. Let her feel the new version of you, not the one who begged to be seen, but the one who learned how to stand alone. There's a point every man reaches when he's done chasing closure, done trying to explain himself, and done waiting for someone to finally see his value. That's the birth of detachment. But don't get it twisted. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring for yourself. It means you stop depending. You stop handing people the remote control to your peace. You stop letting their attention decide your mood. And you begin to live like a man who has learned something rare, emotional self-control. Because that's what women and even the world find magnetic. Not arrogance, not silence, but presence. The kind that says, I'm good with or without you. That's the dark psychology behind strength. The paradox that when you stop chasing validation, you become the one people chase. Every text she sends now, every time she looks at your stories, it's not about her missing who you were. It's about her wondering how you became so unshakable. And here's the truth most never learn. You don't attract peace by pretending not to care. You attract peace by becoming so focused on your purpose that drama just can't reach you anymore. When you wake up and your first thought isn't hers, but your goals, your gym, your work, your vision, that's when your life changes. Because now, your energy is directed inward. You become harder to manipulate, harder to break. And that's when you start to grow differently. She'll sense it. People around you will too. They'll say, you've changed. But what they really mean is, you've stopped leaking energy into people who never deserved it. And that's detachment. It's not cold, it's clarity. A man in mastery doesn't react. He observes. He doesn't fight to be understood. He stays still because he finally understands himself. And when do you master that? You no longer need to win her back because life starts sending you better. You ever notice she always comes back when you finally stopped waiting? That's not coincidence. That's psychology. See, when you detach, something powerful happens inside her mind. In the beginning, she thought she had control. You were available. You were predictable. She felt safe knowing you'd always answer, always care. But the moment that pattern breaks, when your energy shifts from needing her to not caring, her subconscious goes into panic. Because humans, especially in relationships, are addicted to validation loops. She got used to feeling desired by your attention. But when that disappears, her brain feels withdrawal, and that's when curiosity turns into obsession. She starts replaying old memories. She checks your profile just to see if you've moved on. She tests you. Maybe with a random text, a like, or a subtle story reply. Not because she suddenly loves you again, but because she needs to know she still matters. That's the dark psychology behind her return. It's not always love. It's ego loss. When you become calm, detached, and mysterious, you trigger one of the deepest fears in the human brain, the loss of emotional control. And for her, that's unfamiliar territory. You were once predictable. Now you're not. You were once emotionally available. Now you're distant. And that change? It's magnetic. Because in that mystery, she feels the same thing you once did. Confusion, curiosity, and a bit of pain. The roles have reversed. Now she's the one wondering, did I lose him? Has he found someone else? And here's the twist. The more you stay calm, the stronger the pull becomes, because silence is louder than any message. Distance is more powerful than any chase. It's not manipulation, it's self-mastery. You're not playing games, you're playing discipline. And that's what separates men who heal from men who repeat. So, when she comes back, remember this: you don't need to prove anything. You don't need to make her feel punished or ignored. Just remain calm, unbothered, root in your new energy. Because when you finally stop chasing what's temporary, you start attracting what's permanent. And that's where the real power begins. You see, detachment isn't losing emotion. It's gaining control over it. When you master your calm, you master your life. Shadow Mind, Chronicles. Know yourself. Control the game.